miss being in front of the camera. Your content has a way of exposing what you consume. First of all, I miss doing my podcast so much. Music is a big thing for me. It's a thing that can make or break your video, whatever it is that you're creating. Care about what you do. The latter. Not to say that the one is right or one is wrong, but for me, it's easier when I'm already passionate about those aspects and then I'm creating content. That's interesting because one of my friends, actually the videographer that I work with, asked me, is there something that you usually do to prepare yourself, before I edit? Well, first I paused because I actually had to think about it. And then I just said, no, actually, I just do it. Sometimes I don't even know how the video will turn out until I start editing. I'm not saying anything new or profound here, but the truth is really just be yourself, even though you're weird. But what's interesting is that is the thing that makes you you. So that even when you create content, your essence is in that. Like, it doesn't matter how you express yourself, or rather the mediums that you use, that you can tell that this is the person's content because their essence is in it. I would say it ties back to the last question that I answered, is that I realized that my quirks, my ability to see some things that people do not notice. I also, by the way, is that I don't get my inspiration from social media. I get my inspiration from other mediums, like movies. Music is a big thing. Magazines, Pinterest, obviously. Even when I get inspiration, like if I have a mood board and I shoot a certain way, I don't want it to be exactly the same as what I have on my mood board, or even the editing. So I do it I'll say, okay, I want a little bit of some pieces, some elements from this inspiration. But when I'm editing, like I said, sometimes I have no idea how the video is going to turn out. I just let it be. I lean on very everyday aspects, and then focus, dial in on the little, nuanced details. Even coming up with a concept, sometimes it can be over the top, but most of the time I like to have let me give you an example. I think this is the best way. If it's like a beauty product that I'm advertising, I just think of, okay, so I've got this concept. What would be the most natural thing to do in this setting? And then I follow that road. But really, I try to make my content as realistic as possible, but it heightened with refined visuals. So my process usually, say with the vlogs, I don't even think too much about, I want this vlog to look a certain way. I just shoot. And I make sure that I maintain as much cohesiveness in what I'm shooting. Now, music is a big thing for me. It's a thing that can make or break your video, whatever it is that you're creating. What actually takes a lot of time sometimes for me is finding the right song, because that completely dictates the mood, the pacing, the pulse of the video. My instinct is always to find music. It's like digging for gold, artists that are very obscure, because that's where you get the magic. And then after that, when I'm editing, I use that, now the sound, whether it's instrumentals or the music itself, that creates the mood. Like the color grading thing is also another big thing that dictates what mood you want. Do you want it to be warm? Do you want it to be cold? I've also been learning how to color grade as well. So you've got those three components, and you feel like your video now becomes some form of escapism for the audience. First of all, I miss doing my podcast so much. So me actually being in front of the camera right now is just it's scratching that itch that I've had. I haven't done it for like I don't know how many months, but you can be creative with the podcast setting, but there's some restrictions, in regards to how creative you can be because it's based on conversations. Like I told Kamarichi, I love being outside. Hence why I actually did the vlogs because from there there's basically no rules. There's no format that I have to apply. The podcast scratches my intellectual itch. The vlogs, whatever you see me doing on social media, is just me doing whatever I want. One, it was the vlog that I shot. When did I post it? Like back in Jan. It was a fashion video. And even when we're shooting it again, sometimes I have no idea how the video is going to turn out. And then I started editing and it started just unfolding itself. And when I was done, I was like, oh, this is actually really dope. The other piece of content that I was like, I like this a lot was the BTS that I did. I shot at CBD. So there are two videos, but the BTS specifically was really cool because the storyline was quite evident in that one. Not that it wasn't the other one, but it was very strong in that one. And it was fun. Again, I had no idea how the video was going to turn out. That's a good question, again, because if you're newly working with brands, you're tempted to make content that sways the brand's opinions. But I always remind myself that they came to me for my content that I've already been making. So I don't have a straightforward answer, but it's being very aware that it's trying to integrate your content and their values or their brand with yours and doing your best to try and make that process seamless in that sense so that when people are watching that branded content, they're like, okay, so I know you're selling a product, but I can still see your essence in this thing that you've created. I think a lot of people assume that creating content is easy. It's not easy. Think about it, it's also not easy to connect with other human beings, like a lot of human beings, and them deciding to follow you. That's not an easy thing because if it was, everyone would have done it, obviously. That's the major one. Let your content speak on your behalf. Like people will actually like that, because you're really being yourself. The other thing I would say is, and this is something that I'm really trying to be disciplined in, is your creative diet. Your content has a way of exposing what you consume. I think right now this statement that you should create more than you consume, it sounds nice, but I don't think a lot of people do it. And that requires a lot of discipline. Just like what you put in your body is the same concept of what are you consuming creatively. I was exposed to a lot of good movies, music, thank God, because of my brother. And then that set a precedent. And that's the other thing. If you are going to consume high quality content, not just in quantity, is that sometimes you have to search, like dig deep for good music, good movies, whatever your inspiration is. So yeah, be mindful of what you're watching, what you're listening to. Even people that you're hanging out with, that also has a way of either keeping you stagnant or where you've got very creative people and you feel like, I haven't arrived, like I have a long way to go. With all the copious amounts of information I've given, an emphasis of really, you need to be yourself. That is paramount. as a content creator, really just being yourself, being authentic, care about what you do. Yeah, deeply care about what you do. And that will now just ooze out of your content and whatever it is that you do. And that is the thing that pulls people. It's magnetic.